Budget in-ears always seem like a compromise of quality, reliability, and performance, but Donner is a brand that I've purchased a number of times, and I've often been impressed with the product I get for the price I pay. So today we are going to check out the Donner CV-3 2.4 gigahertz stereo wireless system. And usually the CV-3 goes for about $200, but at the time of this recording, you can actually find them for about $70 off. So be sure to check out the affiliate link below, and let's get things started and see what's in the box. Well, first we have the box. A nice form-fit case with cable storage. An instruction manual, the transmitter and receiver, a TRS 1/4 inch female to TRS 1/8 inch male adapter, a TRS 1/4 inch female to XLR female adapter, and a USB-A to dual USB-C charging plug. Looking at the receiver at the top, you will find that there is a power button. If you hold it down for a few seconds, you'll power the unit up. Hold it down again, and it will power down. If you double tap it, it actually will mute the audio. Double tap it again, and it will unmute the audio. There's also a power indicator right here. The power indicator light, if it's blue, blue means mono. Green means that you are in stereo. If it starts to flash red, well, red means dead, and you need to charge it. Also, you have the 1/8 inch stereo jack right here, headphone out, and you have a very convenient way of being able to get to the volume wheel, which goes from 0 to 32. On the side, you will see that there is a button that says CHS. This allows you to choose your channel for pairing with the transmitter. Otherwise, the unit will just pick the best one for you when it turns on. On the other side, you get access to the volume wheel again, and you also get the USB-C charging port. On the back, you get a durable metal clip, and actually the whole thing is metal and doesn't feel real cheap in my hands. As for the front, this does give you the most information about things like the battery level, whether you're in mono or stereo, which channel you're in, the amount of audio that is actually coming into the unit, as well as what volume level you have turned this wheel to. Onto the transmitter. At the top, you will find a TRS male to 1/4 inch hinge jack, which is real convenient for fitting it into a system that has kind of like an awkward place. On the side, you will see a CHS button, and once again, this means channel selection. And it has your 8 indicators to tell you which of the 8 channels that you are actually on. On the other side, you have your USB-C port, as well as an MS button. And if you hold down the MS button for a few seconds, it'll allow you to turn on and off the unit. If you click it once, then the button can actually be used to switch it to mono or stereo signal. On the front, the display is going to give you your power levels right here, as well as it's going to give you an indicator light. Now, the indicator light is the same as it is on the other part of this unit, and blue is going to mean you're in mono, green means that you're in stereo, and if it's flashing red, again, red means dead, you need to charge it. So let's talk sound quality. And ultimately, in this situation, it seems like the best statement to say is, compared to what? And for me, the best comparison is plugging the headphones directly into the source versus plugging it in using the wireless unit. And when testing it out, I felt like there was some minor distinguishable differences between the two. I mean, really direct wins just because it did have a little more definition and it had some better nuances to it. Now, this is not a clarity issue though, because there was no interference, there was no dropouts, there was no distortion. It's just that the sound of the CV-3 came across a little less nuanced. You know, maybe it's a compression thing. But my next compared to what would be comparing it against some of the other units that I've actually used here on the channel and done a review on. And in sound quality, I actually preferred the sound of the CV-3 to the Joyo JW07As, as well as the X5U45. Also, I did do that review on the Melanair SD2s, and I think it was actually on par. The CV-3s and those SD2s sound very similar. Little differences, and it depends on what you're listening for, on what you like better. But really, pretty on par. But as far as the Shure PSM 300s, Those are way more dynamic, way more articulate. It makes sense. The $1,000 unit, it ended up getting first place. But it takes more than sound quality to make an in-ear unit amazing. The Donner CV-3, as already mentioned, can run mono or stereo, and this unit does utilize the 2.4 gigahertz frequency band with a signal-to-noise ratio of 110 dB. It has a sample rate of 192 kilohertz with 24-bit depth, a full audible frequency response of 20 hertz all the way to 20 kilohertz. The specs for latency is less than 6 milliseconds for mono and less than 8 milliseconds for stereo. There are 8 channels that it can automatically switch between, and you could manually adjust them as well. You get about 100 feet of freedom to roam around the stage, up to 10 hours of battery life, and from drained, it takes about 4 hours to get a full charge again. Now let's talk real world. Here are some things that makes this unit worth trying. Like, I dig the hinge component on the transmitter. Right? This hinge component allows me to be able to fit it into odd places. Another thing is the stereo function. I think that the stereo function is really nice. It allows me to plug it directly into a personal monitoring system like an Avium or a P16 or an ME1 without any special cables. Speaking of the special cables, the provided adapters are actually very convenient, and sometimes you just don't know what type of adapter you need until you all of a sudden need it. Another thing that I really love is that it came in a carrying case that holds everything. I got a spot for my transmitter and my receiver, I have a spot for all of my cables, and it makes it easy to bring it with me anywhere I need to. Also, the size of the unit is great. I mean, I love that it's so small and it's able to go as my main rig, or it's able to take up not a whole lot of space to be able to use it as a backup. The color display, this is fantastic too. I love that it's got all of this information, all the information that I would need to know what's going on with this unit at all times. I also love the incredibly long battery life. It's great for long gigs, recording sessions, or rehearsals. And I like the ability to charge the unit. Not having to go buy batteries. Instead, I just plug it in and charge it in the wall or from my computer or my modeler or something like that. Also, I like the metal construction. It gives me confidence that this unit can handle some unintentional abuse. Now, with all that said, here are a few things that I don't love. The 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth is getting really crowded, and I'd love to see other frequency options offered in the future. Another thing is the multi-purpose button. It can make things difficult to do certain things on the fly. Like, for example, I messed with the mono stereo button on the side of this for like 3 minutes. Just trying to get the thing switched from mono to stereo and then back to mono. I guess what I would prefer is I prefer a switch. Like, I would just prefer to be able to click it and it goes mono, and then click it and it's stereo, or click, it's on, click, it's off. Another thing with the buttons is that I accidentally changed the buttons on the receiver just by grabbing the thing. Like, I went to grab it and I ended up changing it. Like right now I'm just changing it. So I guess what I would love is some sort of a lock function on the unit. And I do appreciate the volume wheel. I love how easy it is to access, but it takes a lot of turns to make changes. So I guess I would just like that to be a little bit tighter. And finally, with all the accessories it comes with, earbuds wasn't one of them. Now, that said, most of these units, they give you crummy earbuds, so you're better off just buying them on your own. So I guess maybe that's more of a pro than a con. I guess for me, that's more of a pro. Well, anyway, at the end of the day, the real question is, would I use it? And the answer for me is absolutely. It has already replaced what I use in rehearsal or bring as a backup. If you are looking for a stereo or mono in your unit as a hobbyist, worship leader, or moderate professional, these are totally worth the try. Well, with all that said, that's all the time we have for the Twee Couch Guitar YouTube channel. If you like what I do, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the podcast, our affiliate links down below, as well as our social media. But remember that you are your greatest asset. Until next time.